Welcome to the podcast from Stress to Success Blueprint. I'm your host, Lolita, and today's episode 153, or third, I should say. So, we continue the conversation about the mistakes you might be making that has to do with stress management that, if not addressed on time, can become, well, burnout and manifest in your physical body, which we don't want that. So, today I want to address such a thing that, it could be very common and it says catastrophizing. Am I saying that right? Yeah. So when something happens or about to happen, or may not even happen, but you think it might, and then you take things the worst case scenario. Um, let's say somebody told you they will call on time and they not, and you think, oh my gosh, something happened to them. It is when you are maybe looking forward to talk to your client about the sales pitch that you have, and you made an appointment and didn't show up. Or maybe your family member didn't come at 5:30 p.m. as they told you they will, and now it's 5:37 and they're now home, and you're afraid that they're being killed in a car accident. You know what I mean? So basically, what we do in cases like that, we just inflict the stress upon ourselves. Uh, and the solution is obviously stop stressing about it. It's not that easy to say. And why? Because if you grew up in the environment that, well, number one, there were constantly things happening that scared you, or you're constantly anxious because there were so many unpredictable things. That's mean every time something you may think can happen, you will assign the worst case scenario because your brain wants to survive. So naturally, it will assign the worst case scenario because you want to prepare for it. The sad part is that everything that happens in your life kind of goes the same way. And you thinking, well, that's exactly what's going to happen because long time ago, you heard that somebody got killed on the way home and they didn't come back home. So it must be what happened to your spouse or kids or somebody who lives in your house. And that's totally self-preservation. And that's how our brain wants to stay safe. And also, could be another reason that maybe you are used to doing that because that's the only way you know. So ask yourself, how is that, your childhood parents, how are your parents, your grandparents, your family members, the authorities in your life when you were growing up were treating stress? What stress management techniques did they use then? Because I can guarantee you're using probably the same because they come automatically. You used to that. That's the recording in your mind. It's like, okay, somebody didn't do this and that, and you're immediately catastrophizing. So this is how you learn to do things, but it doesn't mean that you have to continue doing them. And I recommend my clients start recording when is that you feel you go into that extreme and you think that the worst thing will happen. Have like a little diary for yourself. So you write what happened, what time, like you think like, oh my gosh, somebody was late 15 minutes home. But then what was the result? They came back home, everything was fine. So when you start having all of those things, write it down when you're expecting the worst thing, but it did not happen. Next time, when you start stressing out and get into this, oh my gosh, what's going to happen now? Go and read that diary and remind yourself that, hey, there were times where you're stressing out, wasting that energy, probably stressing out other people around you as well, and things went well because you need to give your brain evidence that not necessarily things turn out for the worst. And then if that doesn't work, or it works great, but here's another additional tool, prepare for the worst. If think, okay, well, somebody did not come back home, what's the next thing I'm going to do? And then write it down on a piece of paper writing always helps your brain to focus and get your emotions out on a piece of paper. What is that you're going to do if that really happens? Because you will calm your brain when you're introducing some sort of solution. We have a tendency of stressing out about things and worry about things that we cannot control. So when you already go that route and you already see, okay, this is what can happen, it's not that scary anymore, because while you already introduced this to your brain and you found some sort of solution, hence you get this feeling that you can be in control. So here are those two things. I am just curious, is there something that you do that helps you to calm down and not catastrophize? Because I would love to hear it. Please leave me a comment below and tell me about it. And if you like this video, give me a thumbs up. And if you have not subscribed to my channel, that'd be wonderful if you would. And tomorrow we'll be talking about more mistakes that we make.